Yo, this boy Deku has a freaking Batmobile? Well, My Hero Academia chapter 310 has been released, and whoa, this chapter really tackle what many My Hero Academia fans were wondering about the vestiges of One For All. On top of that, we see that Deku's giving his best out there, being just like Batman up in here, protecting people from thugs during the nighttime. With that being said, let's review what happened in this chapter, and I'll get my thoughts on it. So, the chapter starts off in an urban city during the rainy nighttime, and we see this commotion going on with 3 armed men attacking this woman who looks like a furry. But hey, this is My Hero Academia where 80% of people have quirks, and because of that, quirks could change their appearances entirely, where they don't look like normal humans. The woman is scared out of her mind, trying to block their attacks while begging them to stop attacking her. Just as one attacker charged her attacks to hit her, all of a sudden Deku comes out to save the furry girl. Deku tells the attackers to calm down in this rainy day, saying this person isn't their enemy. The attackers heard what he had to say and decided to leave them alone. It turns out this furry girl was late during the evacuation, and she thought this whole criminal breakout deal would be over soon enough. But as casualties started to rise up, she had no choice but to book it to the evacuation center at the hero school. The furry girl started crying, said sorry to Deku. Then Deku jumped high up in the air to give this woman an umbrella. After giving it to her, Deku was about to leave. The furry girl asks him if things will go back to normal, and Deku replies that they will. Then moments later, a Batmobile comes up behind the furry girl, and we see All Might popping out of the car, asking the furry if she's unharmed. Deku, who's few feet away, tells All Might to bring that girl to the evacuation center. All Might responds out loud saying wait, and take it with you towards Deku. And All Might brought Deku portkatsu, which is Deku's dinner. After receiving that, Deku tells All Might thanks. After that, we see this epic panel of Max Deku on top of the building in this dark, rainy atmosphere, looking at the city. And we see with him, Deku's having a conversation with one of the previous One For All users, Banjo, the guy who uses the Black Whip quirk, which Deku possesses now. Him and Deku have a conversation about escapees and the whereabouts of the League of Villains. Deku comments that Shigaraki, with All For One's quirk, he states that Neverland and Aizawa will have a hard time dealing with him, even if they work together. So if One For All can't put a stop to this, then nothing will improve according to Deku, which is true since everything that happened after the war arc went south from there. So Deku asks the previous One For All users to help him, and as we know, there's 2 users who we haven't seen yet until now. What I mean by that is soon afterwards, while inside One For All, before Deku woke up from his sleep, the first user of One For All, who's the younger brother of All For One, pleased the remaining 2 One For All users to help support Deku. Though both of them aren't saying anything and have their heads on the wall as if they were instructed by their parents that they're in a timeout. We see that room is getting quiet and awkward, so Banjo lightens the mood by raising his voice at Deku, saying you better learn how to use those quirks, which scared the living daylights out of Deku. Following that, one of the users talked, saying they came from the harshest era in history. Just so you know, this person is a third user of One For All, and who he brought up the past when All For One was at his prime. All For One dominated the entire world, and so to prevent All For One to take control of the world, the third user said it took working together to hold back One For All. And the second user decides to speak up and mentions the name Yoichi, which seems to be someone that a little brother of One For All, and the second user knew. He comments that in order for them to stop All For One, they sacrificed too many lives to count, which is crazy to be true, but yeah. He adds on saying after end of any battle, it's either victory or defeat, saying that he asked All For One's little brother that if they think they'll get behind some bright-eyed brat who wants to save his arch nemesis, which is absurd, which I agree with him because it is crazy to believe that. And in my opinion, Shigaraki is a lost cause, he's beyond saving. On that point, All For One's little brother agrees with the second user that it's delusional, but then it goes back to a flashback with the second or third user of One For All saving the little brother back then. As the little brother tells him if he didn't save him back there, nothing would have started. The second user asks the little brother if he believes Deku will save the day. The little brother answers yes because One For All will never bow to his brother. And to that, the little brother mentions past again that it was the second user's hand that One For All was able to begin in the first place, which meant that it was a big set giving that he transferred One For All to him as times back then were out of bounds, just like it is right now presently. After that motivational talk and backstory, we hear the second user of One For All telling Deku to listen clearly and to go full speed ahead. And from that panel, we see the fire and determination is back in the eyes of the second user, along with all previous users of One For All, right behind Deku backing up in his journey to stop All For One and save Shigaraki. And we see Deku answering back to the second user, yes sir, as he takes a bite of his pork katsu, which All Might brought to him earlier, as the manga chapter ends there. Wow, Deku's in full throttle ready to take down All For One and somehow save Shigaraki. And to be honest, I don't know how Deku's supposed to save someone like Shigaraki, especially now that Shigaraki is capable of, even if his body isn't 100% perfected. And on top of that, who is Yoichi? I don't think I've ever heard that name before in the manga and definitely not in anime. All that we know, it's someone that a second second user of One For All and a little bit knew from way back when. If I had to guess, this Yoichi person is most definitely important, though I highly doubt he's still alive right now, because if times were as horrible as the previous users mentioned, then something must have happened to Yoichi during those troubling times. Also, all the past and flashbacks took place in this chapter were events that took place over 100 years ago, so there's probably no chance Yoichi is alive right now. If you do get to see who this Yoichi fella is, there will most likely be a timescale to the past detailing what person he was and who he is to the previous users One For All. And I'm just gonna assume the next chapter will probably cover who this Yoichi character is, but that's just me. Can't say for sure if there's no leaks or confirmation. Can't say for sure if there's no leaks or confirmation, just speculation up to this point. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give this video a like, and if you want, consider subscribing to my channel for more My Hero Academia manga content. And see y'all later in my next video. Peace.